Oh, guys. Oh, dear. I am live. Guys, I'm so sorry. I am so late. I literally fell asleep. I was just too tired. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me. I'd just like to say, first of all, hello. I'm sorry I'm late. I'm so sorry I'm late. Hello, Tanya. Hello. Hello. Nice to see you. I'm just gonna grab my earphones. One moment, guys. The baby is asleep right here. Really. The topic is, how do we keep control of the narrative? And the problem, I think part of the problem that we have is we have a lot of problems with allowing other people, other non-Africans, non-African diasporans to just control how our story develops, our return to the continent, everything else. We know how good they are at manipulating stories and turning it into a story which works out better for them. It makes, I'm gonna get a mic. I'm gonna get one right there. Like that. Yep. Okay. Is that a little better? Can you guys hear me now? I hope you guys can hear me. So, yeah, fantastic. So, yeah, so what the problem we have is we have other races telling stories about our journey back to the continent. And I can just feel this now. 50 years' time, I can feel them saying, oh, they ran away. They ran away from their problems. Hello, Sandra. Hello, Sandra. Nice of you to join us. I'm sorry I'm late again. I'm only going on for an hour, but I really did want to go on. I just fell asleep. This is why I look like this. Oh my God. No, this is why I look like this. It's late here. Late. It's not even 12 o'clock yet, but yes. Yes, Pan-African Moors. Non non-Melanites telling our story. And it's a problem. It's a massive problem. And now that we have the Chinese in Africa as well now, this is part of the reason why I came on, because I wanted to speak about the other people coming back to the continent as well. I'll try not to. I'll try not to. Hello, Michelle Thomas. Hello, good evening. So you got all these other people that are there, the Lebanese, you have the Chinese, the French, the Dutch, the British, you have them all over there. And they're really good at spinning a tale and making our stories theirs. You can hear me, Michelle, Thomas? Oh, oh really? So an echo. Mm, yep, yep. Pan-African Moors. It matters because you see, future generations. Ah, one moment. Hello? Oh, Tanya. Okay, I'm back again. So I had to turn off the other ones. Fantastic, Shazza. Fantastic. I'm glad to hear that. So, how do we keep control of the narrative? The diaspora are running their own image by constant. Yeah, this is another reason why I wanted to talk because, you know, I'm getting a lot of information. Fantastic, Michelle Thomas. I'm getting a lot of. Why is it so important? Okay, no, I'm going to tell you why it's important, right? Because future generations are going to look at us and it's going to affect the way future generations, our people, look at us if we allow other people to dictate what our story says. So it's very important. Look at us now. Look at us now as a people. Everything we know, everything that we learned, only one generation ago, not even one generation ago, there are people out there. We have diasporans now who have a massive problem because they learnt what they learnt from their European education or their American education. Everything they learnt about Africa, they learnt from them. This is the reason why it's important that we control our story, that we are able to talk about it and make sure that it's ingrained in the minds of our children and ingrained in the minds of our future, of our offspring, so they can know that we came back to Africa to help and support our fellow continental brothers and sisters. Yeah, it is Western. It is. I completely agree with that. The Last African. It is Western hypocrisy. It is. But they know how to do it. They know how to do it. And so we need to make sure before they come in and, oh, well, you know, um, you were running away from America because of the violence over there, and now you're nice and safe here in Africa. That's a good boy. Well done. No, no, that's not going to happen. Um, we won't lose the Mzungu mindset and ways overnight. Yeah, it will take time. Exactly, it will take time. We didn't become Westerners overnight. Yeah, exactly, exactly. But we need to start somewhere. and just ignoring that problem, not acknowledging the problem, not talking about it, not having a developing a system, not realizing that they're going to do it. Yes, no, maybe so. Hello. Not realizing that they are going to do it. This is the problem because we don't think that they're going to do it. They will. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. It's something they're going to try and do. We need to focus on a pragmatic system which will absolutely guarantee that the stories came that were coming out of Africa. I know what you guys are going to say. You're going to look at me and be like, okay, the stories coming out of Africa. Hello, Wendy, by the way. Please turn the volume up. Oh, I can try. Okay, it's the best I can do. So, the hello, face. Hello, good to see you again. Me, myself, and I. Hello, nice to see you. Nice to see you. Happy that you could join us. I know it's a late one. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. How did the Japanese do it? For instance, okay, there was a time when the Japanese, before colonialism, the Japanese had become isolationists. I'm not saying that we should isolate ourselves from the outside world, but we need to have that sort of mindset. The Japanese had that mindset, and exactly, and they had code. It was like, wait a minute, it was like the whole country was a family, and there was fighting amongst each other in Japan, amongst clans, amongst different kingdoms, and everything else. All that happened, but they all realized one thing: the enemy, the real enemies were outside. They knew this. So initially, they became isolationists. I don't know if you know this, but the Portuguese used to come, the British used to come to, yeah, yeah. We should do that. We should build our own infrastructure in Africa. Africa already has actually pretty decent infrastructure. People just completely sort of, you know, they don't really take it, or we listen too much about. I mean, of course, we listen to other outlets about Africa's infrastructure being totally bad, but it's actually getting better. It's improving. People like Acon is making electricity available to people who never had it before. Yeah, it's not our cause to fix what their race. Oh, of course not. Why are we fixing their racism for? No, I'm not. Do you know what? I'm not against them being racist. I'm not against. I no, I'm not even not against it. I don't care. I don't care, and that's not a bad thing to not care. It's more important to not care, if I need to be honest with you, because I don't think we should be putting our emotions and feelings into the hands of other people. Why would we do that? Anyway, but what I'm trying to say is the Japanese had an amazing system of isolating themselves and isolating their children's mind. So no matter what, they were always going to control their own story. And at one point, the Japanese even banned Europeans from coming to Japan. They didn't want them there. They had people coming in there. The Europeans used to come in, and they had a word for them when they first started coming. It was the Dutch and the Portuguese that first started coming. Dutch and Portuguese traders, they started coming, and they would sail up from India and they'd sail up from the north
and they had a word for them. They had a word for them. I forgot. I'm trying to think now. I'm sorry. I'm tired. So, um, I'm trying to think of the word, but it was something like the um, the the dirty people from the south. I don't know how it translates into Japanese, but it was something like that. They just called it them because they found them filthy. That is fact. They found them filthy, found them atrocious, and they started trading. Yeah, I mean, we're talking 400 years ago now, 500 years ago, when they first started trading. So it's to come in the sail ships, the Dutch and the Dutch merchants and the Portuguese merchants used to come, and they started trading with them. They started sending people back with them on their merchant journeys as well, the marketing and everything. And as soon as the Japanese, these people came back to Japan, hello Zenobia, hello. As soon as those people came back from to Japan, because the Japanese used to put out feelers, to see how these people actually are, they told them of the horror stories, the slave trade that was started. They told them everything, and the Japanese knew straight away. Whoa, ban, and they just banned them from coming at all. They didn't want anything because a lot of the Portuguese traders also brought in not discrimination but segregation. Yeah, exactly. And it needs to be because I think we've demonized segregation. It was demonized at one point, right? And I think when a country is young, to a certain degree, there are certain aspects of their society that needs to be segregated. It does. I mean, even us as diasporans, we're coming back to Africa, and yes, it has the capacity to heal us from our past trauma, but the reality is we're bringing back a lot of our westernized ways, some of the nasty westernized ways with us. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I was going to make a video tonight. I was going to make a video this evening and just post it out. And the video, right, was concerning a YouTuber, a pretty well known YouTuber. I'm not going to go deep into it, but I've had a lot of information about this particular YouTuber. And I stopped myself from doing it. What are we bringing back to Africa? It is, exactly. I stopped myself from making this video because I realized something. I realized that with all the information, I have to admit that my partner was also part of the reason why as well. She just, yes, there you go. Yeah, thank you. Wow, how did you know that, Wendy Hestick? Southern barbarians, or the Nanban. Yeah, exactly. That's what the Japanese used to call Europeans, because when they got there, you got to remember, during that time, Catholicism was quite strong. Yeah, I know. Catholicism, that was quite strong. And Catholics never used to wash. So you got to imagine these sailors were coming from Europe. Yep, Nanban. You can Google that. Google it. It's quite funny. Read it. Read about it. They used to come around the Cape of Good Hope. Is it in South Africa? They used to sort of come down. They used to go the long way round to Asia. And those sailors never used to wash. I'm impressed, Wendy. Well done. Those sailors never used to wash. And it was disgusting that you could smell them coming from a mile off. So they just gave them this. Yep, nope, they didn't. They never used to wash. Actually, the Catholic Church taught people also not to wash. Did you know that? The Catholic Church actively went out and said that it wasn't. I forgot the word now. I forgot the reason why, but they said it wasn't pure. Yeah, it was a combination. It wasn't just the Moors that taught them to wash, it was a combination, but the Moors definitely had their work cut out for them. Yes, it did. Ugh, God, man. Ugh. Can you imagine just walking down the streets of London and people are throwing their shit out in the street? God. Sorry. Yeah, it wasn't the cleanest. I mean, Europe wasn't clean. Of course, there were people coming out, and you got to imagine these people that were living amongst this disease-ridden continent. They were just jumping in their ships and they were going to South America, where people had lived for centuries with proper sanitation and everything else, and they just went in there and just diseased this. Oh my goodness, it was horrible. Of course, many people died. But anyway, back to what I was trying to say. So I realized that I had a responsibility with the information that I had. I should be more responsible with it. I need to be more careful with it. You're funny, Tanya. I had to be more responsible with this information. I can't just, because it's difficult. You're saying Shaza G, you're saying why? Because the information that I have about certain people could make or break them. Literally, it could destroy some people. And so I can't just run around, oh yeah, just blurting things out. I have to be careful with the way I put things. There are families out there that are returning to Africa. Which country are they from? Is that what you're asking, Shaza? There are people out there that are running away from their problems. I am an agent. Which one? FBI? CIA? So there are people that are running away from their problems and they're going back to Africa, leaving their problems behind. Um, they're leaving their problems behind, and some of them they're bringing back to the continent with them. This is should be okay, right? I mean, we should be able to turn around and leave our problems behind. That's part of the good thing about leaving this society over here, being able to just ignore their rules and regulations here, which is their society, which has been set up to. Yeah, it is. It is. Um, it's Amy Williams. Thank you, Amy. So yeah, you having these people. Forgot what I was trying to say now. We need to make sure we focus on how we tell our stories. I don't want to start being irresponsible with the information that I've got. And this is a form of power. Hello, Caitlin. Hello. Oh, wait there. Let's have a look. This is good. This is why, as an African, I'm not really in support of diasporans moving back to the motherland. No, that's an interesting point of view. It's an interesting point of view. The reality is, though, ML, it is going to happen. It's been happening for years, since before you was even born, and it's going to continue happening. Everyone's moving there because there's just an abundance of everything there. The people, the land, the space, the air, the health, everything is in Africa. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I've actually, you don't have to support it. It's their right. This is. I've had to try and explain that to some people. It's not like, I don't think African diasporans should even have to ask permission. It's like, you don't have to ask permission to come back home. If it's your home, you don't call up and say, "Oh, is it all right if I come in?" No, you don't do that. It's your home. And luckily, the vast majority of continental Africans are very welcoming. Matter of fact, it's our Achilles heel, isn't it? We're a bit too welcoming. We allow people just to walk in, stroll in. Oh yeah, this is ours now. Yeah, this is great. This is love. What's this? What's this? We'll call this Victoria Falls. This is lovely. Yeah, that's nice. We'll call this city Sun City. Yeah, this is nice city. We'll call it Sun City, and we'll call this Cape Town. Cape. Yeah, that's a Windy Hook. Windy Hook. I didn't see who gave that super chat. Thank you, Face. Thank you very much. That's well appreciated. Thank you. Yeah, just strolling in, renaming everything. Yeah, yeah. This is in the south of Africa. Yeah, well, let's call this South Africa. Yeah, who do these people think they are? Who do they think they are? That's another thing. I think we should rename everything that has been colonized there. Everything, absolutely everything that was colonized needs to be renamed. The Congo should be renamed Zaire. Why not? Exactly. I mean, this should go without saying. We should all be researched. The military calls it recon. Exactly. What good will aid us, the diaspora, be to others when they remain challenged with their self? Bring exactly? They need to bring something to the table. I mean, I think we are. I think we underestimate Caitlin Gilmere. Thank you very much. Thank you, and respect to you as well. Thank you very much. I think we do. I think we underestimate ourselves and what our abilities. I think we do that all the time. I think that's part of the problem, and we are in an age now where we have people like, and I'm not saying this guy's a bad guy, but oh God, what's his name again? We have all these activists who are constantly posting videos of black people taking L's. Constantly. Every single day. Constantly. Black people taking L's. Boom, boom, boom. Ramming it home into the heads of our children. That we are losers. That we are the beating bag for the rest of the world. Which is not the case. It's not the case, but it would look like it was the case if your children were constantly watching the westernized media. The problem is how many diasporans, few African countries, there are an abundant need and therefore business opportunities. It is. It is. It is. There is many opportunities on the continent, and everyone keeps saying this. There is a Cushitic sister, Dr. Harnett. I don't know if any of you guys follow Dr. Harnett. She's just hello, ML, and thank you very much, ML. Thank you. Um, you're in Switzerland? Anyway, yeah. So yes, Dr. Harnett, good. I'm glad you do. She's brilliant. She is absolutely brilliant. She's just moved to Rwanda. She made the move. And ironically, I think her dad is there as well. I'm not sure what part of Africa she's from. I'm not sure if she's from Ethiopia or Eritrea. I think she's Eritrean, right? Half Eritrean or something like that. She was living in Germany anyway. Yeah, she's good. She's Eritrean. Okay, good. Yeah, she's so clued up. If you want to move back to the African continent and you're thinking to yourself, yeah, I don't know how am I going to work, how am I going to make some sort of business or anything like that, you need to watch this woman. You honestly, I after this video, I'll put her link inside the I'll put it inside the description. She teaches a lot about business and she's just constantly pushing out these ideas, amazing ideas. And she does these talks. Oh, yeah, of course, Dr. Mumby. Of course, I follow Dr. Mumby. I watch her every single day, actually. Sometimes when I'm thinking about ideas of what I want to write about, she gets to it first. Dr. Mumby's pretty good. And she's very uplifting as well, right? Dr. Mumby. Yes, Dr. Harnett is really good. She is really good. She starts my day off right, you know. It's always positive. That's why I like listening to her. Yes, yes. I don't think is she from Kenya? I know yeah, she's from Kenya, but she wasn't always living. She moved to her new place not long ago. I love it. Just she's in paradise there, isn't he? When you see her sitting in that beautiful garden, you're like, wow. Kenya is one of those countries a lot of people are just ignoring, which is crazy. It is. It's just crazy. It's sitting on the coast. It's beautiful. It's it's the climate is different. It isn't always hot and humid there. Sometimes you have jacket and coat weather there. You have all the animals in the big five. You have everything there. Arikana is so passionate about the continent. I don't know Arikana. Oh, okay. She used to work for the United Nations in Geneva. I didn't know that. I lived in Kenya 5 years. Yeah, I remember you telling me that face. I couldn't imagine moving from Kenya, from living there for 5 years and moving back to the States. That is incredible. Um, really, she was the ambassador. She's really good. She is really good. That is Dr. Mumby. And she gets her facts straight as well. And I like the fact that she yeah, of course, her news sort of she's an Afrocentric news source, bias, but something that is needed, really completely biased. But you can hear the way she speaks. She's coming from the point of view of a person that has lived in the West for a significant amount of time now. Oh, okay. That is really impressive. The ADDI. Dr. Arikana is the woman to listen to. She is spearheading the Wakanda City. Which Wakanda City? Is that the one in Senegal? Is Wakanda City in Senegal? And what about Akon City, the one he's building with his own Bitcoin thing? Oh, it's in Ghana. Okay. She was a physician in Ghana. Yes, Akon. Yeah. And the thing is, Akon is like our version of Elon Musk. He is, a lot of people look at him and they still think rapper or singer. He's not an entertainer. This guy's brain works differently than us. I swear. If he is not an engineer, he should be an engineer. I think he is an engineer, right? Because what he has managed to do with the bit of money that he has, the way he's been able to change people's lives, doesn't he have? Yes, he does have his own cryptocurrency. That's what he's building his city on. I would, I think I would move there. I would follow, if he built his own city. I'd definitely buy some property there. Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. But he's building, and that's the most important thing. He knows he needs assistance from somewhere. I bet the cats in the Gambia can't wait for that A concert. Oh yeah, I know. Do you know what? The swag nation. That's a very good point because what we don't want is the same drama that's happening. Yeah, he does have Chinese investors. We don't want the same problem happening in these new cities that's happening in the Gambia at this present moment. And there are people there blowing it up. For me, the best and most pragmatic speakers and doers at this moment are Dr. Arikana, Chicharabori Kao, Rotendo Benson Netanyahu. Who are these people? MD2 V4. The last two. I know Dr. Arikana. I don't know the last two. His city has a great outlet to the sea. Yeah, exactly my point. This is why I'm a, I'm I'm a coastal person. I come from an island. I was born on an island. My mother was born on an island. My grandparents born on an island. Small islands. We love islands. We need we need the sea close by. Oh, they're both Zimbabweans. That's good. And I wonder if people will be priced out. I hope not. I hope not. I hope he's. I don't think Akon is the type of person that's totally focused on money. I don't think so. But he, the economics of that type of city and the fact that he has Chinese investors means that it's likely he's going to be pushing that towards certain people and trying to make a buck out of it. I mean, he will have to. He will have to. I'm going to say. I'm going to have to go back up in the stream just so I could say ML. I didn't say thank you. By the way, ML, thank you very much. I didn't say thank you properly. I should say thank you very much, ML. So we need to make sure that we sanitize the environment, the information coming in. You know, has hit masters in the US. Yeah, yeah, he has, he has. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like Akon's music. A lot of it is trash. I'm going to be honest. It's not something that I would just turn on and listen to. It's kind of the reason why he's been so successful is because his music is very popular. It's pop music, right? And it's repetitive and it's not brilliant. But he doesn't care. He's made his dough, and what can I say? That's why I want your channel to be a debating channel. Yes, of our known intellectuals. And I've been reaching out, actually. I'm reaching out now to a few people, to a few well known people at this present moment, so we can sit down and talk properly, have proper discussions. Um, I've recently just had a new router installed in this house. So I need to try that out once again with StreamYard and just see if we get better connection. I'm not just saying it's technical, but I know that part of the reason why I'm having these problems is because I'm just not officiating the debate as well. And sometimes I have some pretty emotional people coming onto the live stream. We talk about emotional subjects, don't we? And so we have those people coming on and they're unmuting themselves, they're talking with each other, and it's difficult sometimes. So yeah, it's one of those things. But I'm definitely going to do another live stream very, very soon. I'm going to have a lot of people on. I'm going to focus more on Africa actually now, coming up towards the end of the year. I'm going to focus more on Africa. I'm going to focus more on some of the practical things. So I'm going to start talking about businesses more, how to start up businesses, how to start bank accounts over there, which is the best bank to go to in certain countries. We're going to talk more about the different countries that we don't talk about, like Kenya. No one's talking about Kenya. No one's talking about Angola. No one's talking about Cameroon. I mean, these countries are just as good. They have this road, this belt road that's running from Cameroon all the way to Senegal that they're building. At some point, it's going to be paradise. Like apps, it's going to be an amazing place. It's amazing already, but I'm saying that the infrastructure over there is being built right now. It's going to be fantastic. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dong Maval. Thank you. Burkina Faso, yes. Burkina Faso. I mean, who? Why is no one talking about Burkina Faso and Togo? Okay, maybe not the most stable places, but they're doing their thing. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And this is important. I did make a video, actually, I just haven't released it, on how to make money on the continent. I did one video already about how to try and invest safely. I'm trying to work out a system right now that people can use. I'm looking into developing a system which is like, guys, help me out here. What's the when you send money and it stays in the air, you keep a hold of the money until and you basically, you're gonna have to help me out. I'm just too tired, so I can't think of it. No, not cloud. What's the other one? No, not forex. Let's say no. Okay, let's say I'm sending money to. Let's say I'm sending money to South Africa. It's a big money, like $10,000. I'm sending $10,000 to Africa, but I don't, no, not MoneyGram. I'm sending money to Africa, but I get to keep escrow. Thank you. Finally, someone got it. Escrow. So I want to work out an escrow type system where people can keep their money in escrow. I don't know if you guys know what escrow is, but essentially it's when, let's just say you guys want to buy land in the Gambia and you're there, okay, you're in America, okay, I want to send my money. Right now, all you're doing is you are sending your money to people who you should not trust, who you can't do but safety background checks. A lot of people who move to Africa change their names anyway, right? They change their names. Well, it doesn't need to be insured. It's in escrow. It's you've still got the money, but you know that money is in a place now where it cannot be released to the people who own who you are doing business with. It cannot be released to them until you've signed it over to them. Yeah, yeah, it is exactly. But you can base a letter of credit. You have to base a letter of credit on something, right? So it can be in limbo. Yes, it can be in limbo, but it's better that that money is in limbo than it's been in the hands of somebody who doesn't own the land or who has sold you something which isn't true. You haven't been able to look at it yet. It's a way that you can quicken the way that you can buy land, because you can then buy the land, or at least put a deposit down on the land without actually paying anything fixed. Yeah, exactly. It's a third party holding system. That's exactly what it is. You have a bank. Normally these banks from Panama or something, they do that a lot. Send it over and they hold it. And normally it takes two people, like whoever you're buying the land from will also have their say as well. But of course, they can't receive the money until you give the go ahead. So you would fly over at some point in the future. You've already secured the land. You send over a small deposit. They know that you've got the money because it's there, it's waiting for you. You fly over, you take a look, you make sure you have somebody go there, check the land, check it whilst there is heavy rainfall there, you know, though where it's rainy season, it's been raining for 3 or 4 days in a row, then check the land, that sort of thing. Yeah, exactly. When you're happy, when all the parties agree to it, and all the stamps are signed and everything, it gets signed over. Doesn't quite always work that way. I know in certain countries they won't sign over that land unless they have the cash. But at least then you could agree to a certain cash amount before they sign the money over to you. So you can it gives you a bit more of a safety net. Because at this moment, yeah, each country does have its own rules. But an escrow is an escrow. It doesn't matter where it goes to. So it's a safety net. So people, yeah, it does depend as well on the type of sale, but it gives you a bit of negotiating power because, of course, the person who you're buying the land from, for instance, could be a house, could be whatever. And the person who you're buying that house from or that property from, they need to see that you're serious. They need to see that you're committed. They need to see that you have the money, right? And and doing things in this way, everybody's safe. Everybody's happy. Let's say if it doesn't go through. That's the worst thing. The sale doesn't go through. What do you think? Oh, yeah, I'm going to refund my money. You think that's going to happen? That doesn't happen. Exactly. Exactly. Pan African law. It puts them in a situation where they're like, oh, well, I don't want this sale to go. I don't want this. I saw the land. It's under 1 meter of water when it's ready, very heavy rainfall, and I'm not going to be able to give an estimation on my construction. Yeah, even construction projects. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to give a proper estimation, or that it's going to go over budget. I can't do this. Yeah, my attorney in Nairobi. Ah, Tanya, I knew you'd do something like this. Set up an escrow account for my land purchase. It's pending the borders to reopen, but it stopped. Exactly, exactly. And this is exactly what I'm talking about, Tanya. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You are now in America and you are safe and confident. that the worst that could happen, and that is someone taking your money, is not going to happen, really. And the reason why people aren't talking about these types of solutions is because they don't want you to have these types of solutions. They want you to trust them with your money. They want you to trust them with that money. They want you to send three, four, $5,000, because $5,000. Do you know what that gives you in Gambia? You can buy a nice, decent piece of land for that amount of money. I was looking for land in Gambia at one point, and the land there, right next to the sea. Wow, wow. I was looking in Ghana too. There is beautiful land. There is land, but it's beach land. It's like sand, and then you have the sea. I think you can't build next to the sea, can you? I'm not sure if you can build next to the sea. Yes, yes. I love Rwanda as well. I just don't like the fact that it's landlocked. That, I mean, I don't know if you've noticed, but all these landlocked countries have started. Will PayPal allow land transactions? I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. I'm going to look into that. Gambia, 1 acre is approximately $1,300. Wow, it's expensive. It's expensive. Oh, 1 acre. Oh, wait a minute. 1 acre. How much is that in square meters? Yeah. Yeah, I like the Gambia, but I'm going to be honest once again. When I like going to different countries, I don't want there to be too many foreigners around. So I don't want there to be an abundance of diasporans around me. I really want to just envelop myself into the country. That, you know what people call culture shock? I love culture shock. I love it. I live for it because it 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 really strengthens the experience that you're having. Many people who don't travel will struggle with that, but I really do. I love it. I love culture shock. So anyway, I'm going to go back to what I was speaking about. It's important that these systems are developed throughout the continent so people can spend their money. People in the diaspora who have a plan of moving to Africa in 4 years. Some people do 2 years, 3 years. They can purchase land now, comfortably, safely, securely, knowing that the money is safe, that their money is safe, and that their investment is safe. If they want to, if they've spent $20,000 and that 20,000 is in escrow, and then, oh goodness, something has happened, a year down the line, they've paid their escrow payments, because you have to pay for it, of course. It's not expensive though, the money's just floating there waiting for you to get over there. Oh, something happens, I need the money back, I need to cancel this deal. You make an arrangement with whoever, right? You got that 20,000. You say, okay, here's $1,000. I'm sorry. That person will always accept $1,000. You take your 19 back. Boom. You know, these systems exist, but apparently we're not using them. So this is something that I've been looking into, and I want to make it a lot more safer for African diasporans to do business on the continent. I want this to be the norm, right? So people can spend the money on the continent. I think, if anything, this would boost the economy on the continent. Yes, I do. Of course. Yeah, but I'm going to be honest with you. Why not Africa? I think there are other systems that need to be set up around it. It's not as simple, especially if you're talking about land and acquisition and property acquisition. There's a lot that goes around that. There's a lot of support that is needed on the continent in order to make um, that an escrow system work well on the African continent for everybody, to make the system smoother, to iron out all the edges as well, so that everything works in synchrony, you know. So that's what I'm working on. That's part of what I'm working on. But yeah, the support side as well, making sure that Africans in the diaspora can purchase land, and they don't have to worry about paying exorbitant fees to have somebody go out there and take a look at this land, to have somebody go outside and view land. Oh, okay, I'm looking for a house which costs $100,000. I want it to be at least 1 hour, within a 1 hour peripheral of Accra. You know, I want to see 5 houses. Okay, we can go out there. We will go out there and we will look at these houses for you. We'll do a risk assessment. We will do a security assessment. K&K Scott would be appointed tourist ministers of the West African states. I think that's a great idea. Holy water, it's a fantastic idea. Excellent idea. Good escrow buyer exit clause will motivate better. There you go. It will. It will put people in a position where, you have these tin pot organizations. I keep calling them tin pot organizations because the reality is not all of them, because they're not registered, then they're not, there's no oversight. You don't know what they're doing with the money. They're very, you could spend money with them, and I think a lot of people see it as an investment, and investments are risky. You go to the Sankofa repatriation program, you invest with them, but it's likely you're going to lose your money. So people are not wanting to spend huge amounts of money. And what we don't want are these little organizations messing it up for everybody. It really is. We're at that situation. At this moment, I'm looking into, of course, I'm looking into the Exodus Alliance. And it's really weird. I'm not going to mention names, but not all those companies in the Exodus Alliance are crooked, it seems. At least one of them is actually okay, above board, but they are now involved in this Exodus Alliance. And I know at least two of those companies that I would never send money to under any circumstances. Um, it seems as though some people have taken the wrong decision to join this alliance, and now they've brought their own organization into disrepute. Hello, Anime, by the way. I didn't say hello to you. Hello. Um, I agree we need vetted organizations that is approved by the government. Do you know what? Not even that. We just need. I don't even think, because I think a lot of these government uh, ministers, a lot of them are not above board either. We know this, right? A lot of them want their own little blessings too, and they don't mind seeing the diasporans getting a little bit of money shaved off. and having a little bit put inside their own pockets. That's just the way they are over there. Yeah, I'm not falling with more. I wouldn't do it either. I'm not. I would not. Do you know, on the African continent, in many countries like Nigeria, I don't know if there's any Nigerians there. They will tell you most people don't have. They don't even know what a mortgage is. They're like, what? Mortgage? No. What? Pay compounded interest for 20 years? Are you mad? They don't do that, especially in Nigeria. You can go and you can buy a brand new villa in Nigeria and you can pay in terms between 2 and 3 years, sometimes interest free, right? And then their villas are okay. Yeah, they use a lot of Chinese products. You can see that it may not be the best quality building materials that they use, but the villas are nice. They're ready to move in. They have everything. They have generators. So let's have a look. Problem is, what global institution will have financial authority within the sovereign? Yeah, within the sovereign African countries, African politicians will never condone such common sense ideals. We need to put ourselves in this. You see, the world is consistently forging ahead with being a global society. Okay, and at some point, these people are going to be made irrelevant. You know, it's like, hello, main man Dev. Hello, how are you doing, mate? Nice to see you here. Yeah, we need a system where we don't need to rely on politicians. We don't have to rely on crooks. A system that has been working for years and years and years. A system that we can take with us all around the world. It's just ridiculous that we haven't been looking at the way these shady investors and bankers, or in Switzerland here as well, here, Switzerland, and in where else, in Monaco, in the U.S. Virgin Islands, in Andorra, in Luxembourg. They're just moving money around all the time. Billions of dollars. They're just moving around. Yeah, boom, 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 boom. No problem. They don't have to worry about their money getting stolen. It is another day in paradise. Yes, Lenny God. I say that at the beginning of every one of my videos, simply because a lot of people believe that, especially a lot of continental Africans, you see them, a lot of them coming over on these boats, they believe that the the West is a paradise. And yeah, a lot of them get hit with the reality that it's not what they think it is. They it's 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 a paradox, isn't it? It's a paradox. They're moving over here thinking it's a paradise when they've literally just moved from paradise. They just didn't realize it because they have been living in a certain section of society which doesn't enable them to enjoy life the way they should. We need to be, we need to have that impetus. We need to put impetus on making sure that we are there to make their societies better. And I don't mean better like, you see these people. Let me tell you something, right? Let me tell you this, right? Because I was thinking about this earlier today. I was watching a on Instagram. I was watching this show. This guy goes around giving poor people money on the streets, and he's got his phone. He's giving people money. Yeah, yeah, there you go. There you go. What a total. See you next Tuesday. kind of people do this. Really, it annoys me to no end seeing people do this. If you're going to help Africa, fine, go and do it. It is. People are obsessed with Western culture, and it's not all that. I've seen people out here who believe that they are in paradise. They believe that they are lucky to be living in in Switzerland or in, Switzerland's nice, by the way. England's actually not bad. It's not a bad country. It's only because there's so many diasporans there. It's a very mixed country now. If you go to London, you know that most of the population of London, this is what freaks people out when they come to London for the first time. Most of the people in London are not white, right? That it's turned that way now. So most of the people in London, most of the people who live in London are not white, and I think that shocks a lot of people. And even a lot of the white people that are living in London now, they're from the Balkans or they are from Poland. They're the people that made it, the Eastern Europeans that really made it, that did well in their lives, and they've come there. So, and then a lot of the Londoners now that we see it, that we call Londoners, are just people from the north, from Birmingham, from Manchester, from Liverpool, that wanted to live the big city life. About 10% of the people in London are actually what we would call and consider Londoners. So yeah. Anyway, I was going off subject. It is. Yeah. Yeah. Lemmy God, talking about my country, Jamaica. It is a good place to move to, actually. And of course, I've got relatives there and I've got people there, friends who have just moved back there. It's expensive though. The whole of the Caribbean is expensive now because the land is being bought up by Americans. That's the irony. There is a big irony happening. Ironic. You got a lot of Americans who are coming to Jamaica, buying up huge swathes of land, easily getting these licenses to construct huge greenhouses and grow weed. They are growing weed there. Massive plantations. And then you have kids that are smoking weed on the street and the police will harass them. Hey, what are you doing? We've got you. We're going to arrest you. And you... Nah. No. Yeah. Jamaica is nice. Jamaica's nice. It's just expensive. It, is it? By China. I don't like that. I think, a lot of, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but there is a huge Chinese contingent in Jamaica, but it's always been there. It was there, brought there just after slavery ended. So the Chinese came in some 300 years ago, was it? So this is why China are attracted to Jamaica, because there is a not significant, but a pretty decent amount of Chinese Jamaicans there who have been there they're like third generation Chinese Jamaicans there, third, fourth generation, some of them. Oh, well, weed is legal in Canada. Well, lucky you. Yeah, yeah. Weed is legal. Weed is getting, and this is the thing. Jamaica is in a position now where they can really start an industry which they can own, because weed has always been owned by Jamaica. It was always their thing, right? We could own that industry, but we're selling out already to the Americans. To the Americans, Jamaica is a dream. It's a 2-hour ride from pretty much most East Coast states, East Coast cities. 2 hours, boom, you're in the middle of the tropics in Jamaica, Bob Marley's island. You're in paradise. Great infrastructure, great airports. If the US stops all stock investments with China, California's state government will be bankrupt. Major investments for government, medical, and retirement plan. Yes, it would. It would. How much American debt did China purchase? I mean, at one point, they were just like, we could just turn you off if we want. It was crazy. China just went out and just said, we'll buy all this debt, we'll buy all this American debt. Hundreds of billions of dollars worth of American debt China brought, and they brought it for one reason. So they could just hold America's balls in their hands and just be like, yeah. It's like, we could do whatever we want with this. It's so free. You know, I don't know how they learnt it, but they have a good hold on their geopolitical position and how they see their future. Nakamizi calling. Oh, dearie me. We're having a good discussion here. We're having a nice, pleasant discussion. No Nakamizi tonight. No, no, no. It's not the fault of the Jamaicans, no. It's the fault of these politicians in Jamaica who have been worthless, consistently worthless. Literally. I don't understand how they get away with it. False promises every single time. Total waste of time, the Jamaican politicians. All of them are in bed. Every one of them is in bed with the Americans. Deary, deary me. I was in Switzerland actually. The ambassador to Switzerland is some young kid. I'm like, the fuck? I spoke to him. Well, I didn't speak to him. I spoke to his assistant. It's like, you know, these people, they don't want to work. These Jamaican politicians, they don't want to work. And he probably got thrown that job by one of his relatives. Nepotism, right? Some Jamaican expats have said Jamaica is more of an extension of a plantation of the crown. The Commonwealth doesn't exist anymore in reality. The British Commonwealth, the British don't really care about the smaller Commonwealth countries anymore. They don't. They still care about Canada. They've got New Zealand, they've got Australia. That's theirs. They're just, at this moment, they're trying to solidify their place in those countries. Because at this moment, the Chinese now, I don't know if you know about this, but most of the people who are buying property now in Australia, the Chinese. They love Australia. For some reason, they love Australia. They're everywhere. You go to Barcelona now, you want to get yourself a beachfront property in Barcelona, it's not happening. It's owned by Chinese or Russians, one or the other. You can drive up the coast in Spain, like that, on the Costa Brava, whatever. You drive up there, road signs in Russian. No, they don't do it in Spain, it's Spanish anymore. Not in Chinese, not in Spanish, in Russian. It's like, what the hell is going on? The world is changing right before our eyes, guys. I live here in Australia, and yes, Chinese are taking over houses. It's why houses are so expensive. Yep, exactly. It's a big problem. It wasn't a problem before, actually, because a lot of the why people were actually enjoying the money. They enjoyed the money. They don't mind the money. But when they realize they've taken over a whole neighborhood and then they've taken another neighborhood. And the Chinese are really, they do this, they see property as being something that they must have. You cannot get married. If you're a Chinese person, you cannot get married if you don't have two properties. You need to own two properties in order to get married. Did you know that? Let's see how many of you guys knew that. Do you think a social movement in Jamaica similar to? Yeah, it does. I did say this, T. We do need something similar. So we need something worse because we need more political change, significant political change, because it's just beach property in Jamaica is almost impossible to buy now. It's crazy. You might as well go. Is it all in Mexico? No. Oh no, I didn't know that. But perhaps they would be a good addition to Mexico. I can imagine the Chinese being successful in Mexico. As you know, the Mexicans need someone to bolster them at this moment because it's not a well-governed state. It's a weak policed state, and it's run by cartels, isn't it? In the reality, who have better weapons than the police. It's really sad. It's really sad. So I think the Chinese got involved there. They could, you know how they are. They just slap these cartels out of the water, blow them out of the water, get rid of them, and then sort of make it a safer place. As long as the cargo from the South American countries do not land on Jamaica soil. Cargo from South American countries has been landing on Jamaican soil for the last 50 years. But the thing is, it got too expensive, I think. Over the last 20 years, it was too expensive. And Jamaica used to be that sort of springboard for that cargo, that South American cargo, to go to Europe. It got so expensive that they started sending it elsewhere. They started just jumping Jamaica. And I can't remember what other island they go to now, but they go to another island and then they put the stock on board in another island and then they take it over to Guinea, lands in Guinea, or sometimes lands in the Gambia. Gambia's another place as well. And then they take it to Spain or Morocco. So it comes, that's the main entry point for the stock that's coming from South America. And these people aren't sending 20 kilos, 30 kilos. They're not sending silly amounts like that. They're sending half a metric ton, 1.5 metric tons of this. And half a metric ton, a metric ton would cost what? In South America, it would cost $20 million, I think. And then you send, once it gets into Europe, it's worth 400, not 400, 20 million. It's worth $200 million. Yeah. But, yeah, a lot of people believe that the Europeans are winning when you see them at the airport. You've seen these shows at the airport where you see them take a gram of coke of someone. They're like, oh, look at that. And they take the photographs with it, like they're proud. It's just so crazy. Yep, Guyana, thank you. Trinidad, yes. Trini is an amazing place. This place is getting taken over now because of what is happening in Venezuela now. Venezuela being exploited by the Americans at this present moment. Really, they are going for it there. They are making sure they break that country down to a point in which it needs foreign assistance. Foreign assistance. Yeah, so that's what the Americans are doing now, destabilizing that country. And because it's such a lawless place at this present moment, it's easy for traffickers to get their stock into Venezuela and out of Venezuela. So that, and I don't know if you guys know, but Trinidad is like very close to Venezuela. It's like, I think it's at some point, no, not joined on, but you can see Venezuela from Trinidad. Yeah, Trinity, North Carolina. Yeah, so it's very very close. So, and it's a British colony, of course. So former British colony. Isn't Holness half Chinese? He's looking at after his other half. Ah, I didn't know that. I thought he was half white, but you might be right. You might be right. Venezuela has lots of oil but can't sell it due to USA sanctions. I, yeah, it's funny how they've done that, right? And the type of oil that Venezuela has, it's not just, it's not the shite that the Americans have. America is now the world's number one producer of oil. I don't know if you know this, of crude oil. And they take their oil through a system called fracking. So they break up the ground underneath, and they push a chemical inside the ground and then extract the oil that way. It's extremely expensive to do it, but they can control it, which is the reason why they're doing it. They fracking, yeah, it is fracking. So they're taking oil this way, and America are very good at doing it. But it's expensive. It's extremely expensive. It's not like in Saudi Arabia where you can go to anywhere in the desert and just drill down and oil comes up. It's completely different. Yeah. And the type of oil that Venezuela has is something that you call Brent crude. Okay? It's Brent crude. It's the best oil in the world. It's the oil that everybody, it's like the benchmark oil. Can you imagine having the largest oil reserves on the planet, which is Brent crude, sitting at your doorstep? The American government are like, oh, they can't know. Of course, they have to step in. That's their long game, that is. But this is how we have to think strategically like this, because the Americans aren't really thinking destabilizing the country and making money out of it in the near future. They're thinking about what's happening, where they're going to be in 50 years' time. We're still going to have ships that are going to be running on these oil. I mean, our cars may not run on oil, on petroleum, on gas. We might all have electric cars in 50 years' time, but we're not going to have electric ships. We're not going to have electric aeroplanes. It's not going to happen. Most of it, and that's where most of our fuel is being used in reality. An airplane, an airliner, a normal airliner will take on between 3 and 4 tons of fuel, okay, before leaving for a little hop, for a short hop. Tons, okay. So your little car is taking in 50 liters. Or should I say 20 gallons, right? In order to trade oil, you have to use the dollars, petrodollars, yeah, and it is controlled by the USA government. But there are some companies that are bucking that trend. The Russians are trying to change that, and so are the Chinese, and they will be successful. It's literally a matter of time with them guys now, because they're in a situation where they don't have to trade with dollars if they don't want to. They have they've put themselves into pole position. Maybe not so much the Russians, but they're absolutely the Chinese. They will be the next America. I know a lot of people don't like to hear that, but they will be. They will be the next America. They will be the ones controlling the world and doing all this, and they have the ability to do that because they don't have many great external enemies like the Americans have. The Chinese are not at war with anyone. They're not spending $1 trillion a year at war in Afghanistan. They don't need to do that. All the Chinese are using that money for is to build infrastructure inside their own country. And they're even doing it now. They're building infrastructure for other people's countries so they can build that Silk Road belt. That's all they're spending their money on. So if you can imagine a country like America, only they're not spending their money buying weapons and blowing up cars in the middle of the desert, but they're spending their money on building a road in Africa. They're spending their money building airports in Ethiopia. But the Chinese are robbing. Yeah, yeah. I know. Listen. So all of them are the G8. Is that what they call them? They're all steel. They all work in the same way. None of them are innocent. They are going through Guyana to get at Venezuela. US has Guyana's oil. Oh, getting all of Venezuela will make them not have to go through the so-called. Yeah, exactly, Wendy, exactly. And this is why it's such a good proposition. And and think about it. To export it to Alabama, which I think Alabama is the main place, the main oil hub place, right? To export it there from Venezuela, it's a dream come true. It's an absolute dream come true. They don't even have to refine it in Venezuela. They can just send it. They can just send it over to America and have it safely refined there. It's a dream come true. They will get there unless the Chinese are successful or the Russians are successful, because the Chinese and the Russians are also in Venezuela right now. Guys, if you want to go to a country which is going to be absolutely politically stable, then you'll need to go to a country that doesn't have oil. Unfortunately, avoid countries that have oil, avoid countries that have an abundance of natural resources, because those countries are being destabilized by foreign entities. Look at the Congo. The Congo, the most mineral source country on the planet by far. Nothing else comes close to it. The device that I'm using wouldn't be working without it. Your Teslas wouldn't drive anywhere without the Congo. Yeah, gold, oil, uranium, that is correct. Azir. Absolutely, they have an abundance of everything. So we are, goodness, we just don't have a hand in the Congo at this present moment. Things are difficult. Things are very difficult. The African Union are the only people. Do you know what? We can't even rely on them. And this is the reason why it's important as diasporans get back over there, slap some sense into some of these bloody politicians. Blacksit is digging for water, isn't she? This Juliet over in the Gambia, she's just she funded a borehole for like this little Gambian town. She funded it, and I know those bloody politicians there. They can water for a school. Yeah, yeah. I've seen them do it, and they've got all the. What is Sanyang? They've got all the. Oh, is that the name of the town? Sanyang. Yeah, so she found some oil. No, she didn't. Yes, she has. And this is brilliant. This is really good. The scary thing is that the politicians there can afford it. They could have afforded to dig boreholes. That's not the most expensive thing in the world, and they have the the machinery, the heavy machinery. You could see it for yourself. They brought it in like that. If you can pay for it, you can get a borehole done. Gabon is a country rich in natural resources such as diamonds, gold, petroleum, natural gas, niobium. What is that? Cement, yeah, phosphorus rock. Phosphorus, wow, phosphate. Do you know who's buying the phosphate from Gabon at this moment? How can we, this incredible continent that has phosphate aplenty? I don't know if you guys know this, but phosphate is used for farming. All the food that you eat, it's likely it's been farmed and they use the phosphates to enrich the soil. The rich, rich soil over there. And we are in the DRC. Zaire is doing very well in the 70s. What the hell happened? Yes. So weird. It was in Basura. The borehole was, okay, Basura. Offshore oil in the Gambia. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. There is a lot of offshore oil in the Gambia. Australian and British companies are digging it. I hope they get it. Because the Gambia is a country, if they had some offshore oil, if they had something like that, that it could greatly improve that country. It would make a massive difference. So why am I still in Switzerland? That's a very good question. I'm going to have to answer this one now as well. I can't let it go by. There is there is a few reasons actually. For one, excuse me. Oh my god. Sorry about that. No, that's not. I like the Swiss chocolate. I don't like the Swiss chocolate. I don't eat chocolate. No, the main reason is I've got family here. That's the main reason. The white woman. I. How old am I? I'm 43. 43. What? Who doesn't eat chocolate? I don't. I don't. I'm not a big chocolate fan. I had a block of chocolate the other day, but that was the first chocolate I'd eaten in months and months. I'm not a big fan of it. Yes, yes, guys, thank you very much. It was really nice. I actually wanted to pop on for an hour, and I've been an hour and 33 minutes. And what's the time? I've got to get, the time now is, oh my God, it's 1:30. Guys, I'm going to get some rest. I've got to be up at 5 in the morning. It's 1:30. How did that time, where did that go? I've got to be up at 1:30 in the morning. I've got to be up at 5 in the morning, guys. So I'm gonna stop it here. Guys, thank you for joining me. Thank you very much for joining me on this late one. What do I do? I'll quickly answer that. Okay, so I design for exhibitions and conferences. I design small structures, platforms, that sort of thing, and I do it from home. It's nice. Dude, I really don't understand how we have managed to still exist. Those leaders are, yeah, me neither. The darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Guys, thank you for joining me this evening. I'm going to go grab some sleep. Thank you, and yeah, I'm going to go live again a lot more often like this because it's just better for me. So guys, until the next time, thank you for joining me, and I'll speak to you. I'll see you tomorrow. Very good video coming out tomorrow. Okay, very good. So watch out for it. You're going to see it. So yeah, take care. Good night, and I'll see you in the next one. Ta-ra a bit. To our bit. No problem. Ciao, ciao.